Hey everybody, my name is Jesse and welcome to my wrestling show, the place where we talk about all things wrestling. And we had a really good first week of wrestling. I was so happy to sit down and watch some wrestling and enjoy some wrestling matches. We had a great first week. We had some good duels. We had some good top 10 guys wrestle each other. We had some Freshmen show out. I mean, it was a quality first weekend of wrestling. But first, I want to talk about the Freshmen. The Freshmen, they did show out. I did a video on 6 freshmen that could be future stars. And one of those that I mentioned in that video that I'll mention now is Jesse Mendez. He entered into the Michigan State Open. He dominated the field all the way up to the finals where he wrestled 2-time All-American Lucas Bird. He beat Lucas Bird 3-2 in the finals. And as I watched that match, Jesse Mendez was able to get to Lucas Bird's legs a couple times. So I think the result is it's a result that he can repeat. I don't think this was a one-time thing. So I think Jesse Mendez is here to stay. I think he's going to probably be on the podium this year and the next 3 years. I think he's going to be a 4-time All-American. He has come ready to compete. So the next guy that was also in that video, Casey Swiderski, he had a wrestle off where he went 6. He beat the guy 6-5, and I think that gave some Iowa State fans a little bit of pause of like, okay, maybe we need to pump the brakes here. I think I'm ready to say we can go ahead and squash that. I think he had a pretty darn good weekend. He beat number 18, Shannon Hanna of Campbell, and number 11, Joey Zargo of Wisconsin. And if you watch that match versus Joey Zargo, he controlled that match from beginning to end. It was pretty dominant, the 10-5 win. And so he's just going to get more comfortable at that 141 pounds. I know there was some concern that the weight cut was tough. He'll get better with that. I think he's going to be on the podium this year. And with 141, I'm so interested to see how high he can climb at the national tournament and see how high he can get on that podium. And then last, my honorable mention here, so Tom Crook. Man, what a nice surprise he is for Virginia Tech. He beats Colin Girardi in the wrestle-off. And Colin Girardi, he's a quality wrestler. He's not really there where he's going to get onto the podium, but he's a national qualifier type guy. And Tom Crook beat him in the wrestle-offs, and so maybe you raise your eyebrows and say, okay, that's an interesting result. He beats Dylan Cedeno of Virginia, and then he also beat number 20, Lachlan McNeil of UNC. Now, Lachlan McNeil is only ranked 20. I think he climbs up as the year goes on. That is going to be a quality win for Tom Crook. And so what a really nice surprise for Virginia Tech, where maybe you're thinking, okay, 141 in some duels might be a little bit of a weak point, but no longer is that the case. Tom Crook looks like to be a nice surprise for Virginia Tech going into this year. Okay, the duel of the week was Iowa State versus Wisconsin. And it was somewhat of a shocker. Iowa State dominated the duel. They got 5 or 6 upsets. They beat all of Wisconsin All-Americans. I think if you're a Wisconsin fan, you don't sell all the stock. You don't say the sky's falling. These guys are still All-Americans. They're still quality wrestlers. Maybe they just didn't recover right. Maybe there could be a lot of factors that just didn't go quite right. But if you're an Iowa State fan, this has to make you excited about the season this year. They look so good. They looked really great. The match of the duel, David Carr versus Dean Hamidi. And, David Carr is David Carr. He did David Carr things. He kind of controlled the match, although there were a lot of good wrestling exchanges. Dean Hamidi, he's really good. He ended up on the podium last year, and so none of these takedowns, it was 3 takedowns to nothing. Dean Hamidi did get a stall point, but none of the takedowns were really easy. David Carr had to work for him, and so it was a fun match. There was a lot of good wrestling exchanges. Let's take a look at my favorite wrestling exchange from that match. I'm going to call this the wrestling exchange of the week. So one thing I really like about this wrestling exchange between David Carr and Dean Hamidi is David Carr goes for a shot. Dean Hamidi tries to reattack. David Carr reattacks his reattack. And then they kind of end up in a scramble. Dean Hamidi defends. And so both wrestlers do a really good job of moving on to the next move when their first move is stopped. And so we see some good chain wrestling here, and it makes for a really, really fun kind of wrestling exchange and wrestling scramble. So let's just watch through this wrestling exchange. So we have Carr here. He goes in for a shot right here, kind of wide. He catches him. Dean Hamidi tries to get the ankle pick. Carr drops to his reattack. Dean Hamidi's defending. He grabs the near ankle. He switches off to the far ankle. He flattens him out. This is tough for Carr. You think Dean Hamidi's going to get the takedown. Carr kind of evades. Dean Hamidi goes right to the cradle. I feel like for a second Dean Hamidi can roll to the right, but then Carr escapes his hand and kind of has a post there. You can see it right there. And then he drops down to the leg to pull him in, and then Carr is just too much force there. Gets a stall. That's a fair stall, right? He's trying to evade the takedown. So that was the wrestling exchange of the week. Guys, put in the comments, there's a lot of matches out there, and I certainly can't watch them all. You can't watch them all. And so if there's a match that you watch that had a really, really good wrestling exchange, put the match in the comments so we can go see that, and we can also enjoy these high-level wrestling exchanges. And the last thing I want to talk about, man, there was some high schoolers that entered in college opens. One of them was Meyer Shapiro. He's currently committed to Cornell. He's not competing in high school this year. He's actually training at Cornell full-time in their RTC. He took first place at the Clarion Open. Guys, he's going to be really, really good. He's going to fall. He wrestled at 149. I'm assuming that's probably where he stays for a little bit of his college career. And so he's going to come in there right after Yanni, and he's still going to be a problem. Cornell's still going to have a problem, 149er. I think he's going to be he's a future star, right? He's still in high school. Next year when I do a video about freshman future stars, he's going to be on the list. He's going to probably be a 4-time All-American, maybe even a multiple-time national champ. I mean, he's scrapping in there with Yanni every single day, with Vito every day. He's going to be really, really good. He's a high school senior, and he's winning college open, so that's really impressive. And then Jax Forrest, he's a high school freshman who took third at the Clarion Open. He did get tech-fouled by Matt Ramos, but if you watch that match, there were some decent scrambles in there. You can definitely see Jack Forrest. He's a super high-level high school kid, super high-level high school freshman, and you can see the potential. You can see why he's so good. He's just going to get better and better and better. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, I'm so impressed with these high schoolers that they just have the mindset of, I want to keep getting better and better. They have goals of being world and Olympic champs right now. I know when I was in high school, I was just worried when I could eat after weigh-ins. I wasn't worried about it, And so I'm just so impressed that, these kids, they want to win national titles, and they're thinking about that right now. That's the only reason you sign up for these opens, is Jack Forrest is saying, I want to be a 4-time national champ, and so I'm going to start preparing for that right now as a freshman in high school. And they just love wrestling. They love competing, and I think that's pretty awesome. And so I hope we see more of this. So that's what I got for you this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the first week of college wrestling. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's build a community around the sport of wrestling, around the sport that we love. And again, if you don't comment, your kid, they might end up being a basketball player. We'll see you next time.